Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Florida Sports Show. I'm Chris Porter, alongside the man who told me I can sing if I want to sing, Evan Closky. How you doing, my guy?
Well, I'm doing a lot better than the Buccaneers these past couple of weeks, I can say that. We have a great show for you. The college football rumor mill is twirling. The Jags are coming off a dominant win, plus we have our best bets in the Ultimate Stakes. But let's start off with those Buccaneers, who are coming off a rough performance in Buffalo. It was so bad, nearly 15 players and 5 coaches came back with a stomach bug. The biggest issue from this contest for another week, Tampa Bay giving up a handful of explosive touchdowns in the first 6 games of the season. Tampa Bay gave up 3 touchdowns that were 25-plus yards in length. 2 of them actually came in one game against the Texans. In the last 4 matchups, the team has allowed 8, and more than half of them have gone 50-plus yards. Todd Bowles is widely considered one of the best defensive minds in the sport, and his unit has been getting absolutely gashed right now. It is a big, big problem.
I'm embarrassed every time we lose, but from a defensive standpoint, we didn't play well. We had a stinker. You know, it happens. This league humbles you. Every now and then you're going to have something that messes up. As coaches, we can definitely do a better job. As players, we can do a better job. And we didn't play well. We didn't coach well. That's really all that summed it up to.
Now, the Buccaneers have to take on Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, and the Rams. On one hand, Chris, you can really build up your confidence with a great game against that group. On the other hand, good luck doing that versus a Los Angeles team in primetime.
And it's not a team that you want to play if you're having issues with giving up a lot of big plays. Now, the defense did not perform well. At least the rushing attack is looking better, Evan.
Yeah, you're right about that, Chris. The return of Luke Gedeke has been doing wonders for this rushing offense. Buffalo is one of the worst rushing defenses in the league, but 200-plus yards on the ground is 200-plus yards on the ground. They actually had a better yard per rush average against the Patriots than Buffalo, which is an elite rushing defense. And this is all happening without Bucky Irving in the fold yet. He continues to practice. His return is imminent, but we're still unsure how many snaps he'll get when he does play again. We don't even know if he'll play again this weekend. It seems clear to me and anyone watching Tampa Bay that Sean Tucker should be the lead back if Bucky is out. Nothing against Rachaad White, who is having a solid season, but he does not rip off explosive plays like Tucker. Moving forward, I want to see Buck and Tuck getting the majority of first and second down carries, while Rachaad White gets sprinkled on third downs and 2-minute drives. Tucker is averaging 4.6 yards per rush. White, 3.9. And of Tampa Bay's 10 opponents this season, half of them are a top 15 rushing defense. The Rams are number 6 in the league. So this is going to be another test for the Buccaneers and that rushing attack.
You say your defense was having issues. You run the ball well. You keep the opposing offense on the sideline. So run, Bucs, run. Let's talk about the Jaguars. They responded in big time last Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers. After the win, Liam Cohen said his team came into the game ticked off, and they played like it. Stay mad! Everybody here in the 904 wanted to see how this team would respond after that epic 19-point fourth-quarter collapse against our AFC South rivals, the Houston Texans, Week 10. The worst in franchise history, let me add. Against the Chargers, Cohen's squad brought the edge, executing cleanly on offense with no penalties and no turnovers, and no, I did not stutter. And defensively, the Big Cats harassed quarterback Justin Hubbard from start to finish, holding the Chargers to less than 140 yards of total offense. It's another sign that this ain't the same old Jags. But the team knows the best in the NFL bring this level of play week in and week out, and that's the challenge going forward.
That is the standard, and we all kind of owe it to each other in that room to uphold that standard moving forward in terms of the way that we go about our business, prepare, and ultimately play. So that's the thing about coaching and playing in the National Football League with long seasons. It's the teams that can maintain that sustained success and consistency throughout a number of weeks and give yourself a chance.
Now this gets me excited. The win. Can't do anything, Evan, but boost the confidence of this young team that is chasing a playoff berth. We're not talking draft in November.
That's really funny. Look, you can either go 2 ways when you have one of those brutal losses like you had in Houston. You either start breaking or you rally around it and you show your character, you show the culture. That's exactly what the Jags did. Now, with Trevor Lawrence, what's all this about the play sheet on his arm?
Let me explain. Trevor Lawrence wore that play sheet on his arm against the Chargers and said there were some positives as a result of it. Trevor adding there's more moving parts, and while he cannot credit the offense's success solely to him wearing the play sheet on his arm, he can't deny that it probably helped. QB16 also explained how the play sheet was helpful.
You can just get calls in faster, really, is all it is. Because you got a number on your wristband, and then you read it off to the guys instead of, calls get pretty long in certain situations. So Liam's got to call it. He's got to get the personnel in. You got to call that. You got to call the play. And then if you miss something and he has to call the play again, then you're saying this whole long sentence again. And then you're saying it in the huddle, and then you're breaking it instead of just, hey, wristband 10. And then you go in there, call it to the guys, and get out of there. Then you have usually 5 more seconds or so. I mean, it just depends. Maybe not that much sometimes, but that's really all it does.
Look, let me come closer. If wearing the play sheet is going to have the offense executing the way it did week 10, Trevor, keep rocking it. No penalties, no turnovers. Everybody in the 904 wear a play sheet on their arm if the offense continues to play like that, Evan.
Yeah, look, if the results follow, who cares what's on his arm, right?
Absolutely.
Look, as for the Miami Dolphins, Chris, I have to give this team credit. I thought this group was going to pack it in and be a tire fire the entire season. But after a 1-6 start, the squad has rattled off 3 wins in their last 4 games, which includes an undressing of the Buffalo Bills and beating the Commanders overseas. And even with all the injuries defensively, which continue to pile up, the squad has 6 turnovers in their last 4 games. I think we can all agree the Finns are probably not going to make the playoffs, but there is still a chance for Mike McDaniel to keep his job for next season. And that's mostly because the schedule is about to open up even more. Miami's next 4 games are against the Saints, the Jets, Steelers, and Bengals. If the Finns finish that stretch with a 7-8 record, I would not be surprised. Is a 7-win or 8-win season anything to brag about? Absolutely not. But it would give McDaniel a fighting chance to see 2026.
In the words of my grandma, what you say? All the trash, all the drama, this team is responding this late in the season? I don't know, Evan. You may have a point there. Let's talk college football. Saturday afternoon at 12:30, the 4th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs will host Charlotte between the hedges, and the Heisman conversation keeps getting louder for quarterback Gunnar Stockton, coming off a dominant 35-10 win over the then 10th-ranked Texas Longhorns. Stockton delivered one of the season's defining performances. Stockton had 4 touchdown passes, a rushing TD, and just 5 incompletions all night. Through 10 games, Stockton has 27 total TDs, only 3 interceptions, and he's completing about 70% of his passes. Gunnar outplayed Arch Manning on national TV in prime time in a must-win moment. His head coach, Kirby Smart, raving about his signal caller.
What I will say is he embodies everything about that award: resiliency, character, determination. I mean, all those words that embody Heisman Trophy winner. Gunnar's got it, and he's done it on the biggest stages in front of the biggest audiences against some of the toughest competition at a really high level. So he's playing well, and he's playing to make the people around him better, and his value to our team is immense.
So with Charlotte up next in the SEC Championship on the horizon possibly, Gunnar Stockton's Heisman push is very real and far from finished yet.
Oh, Charlotte. I could see the stat padding right now. Just layer it up. As for the USF football team, they blew their chance at a college football playoff berth, losing to Navy last week. Now the big question is if the team will have head coach Alex Golesh next. His name continues to get floated out there. There was even one report stating he already interviewed for the Oklahoma State job, with James Franklin already hired at Virginia Tech. Fans are interested to know what his next move is, and Golesh denies the Oklahoma State report.
For me, I said it a couple weeks ago, but it's humbling that people bring your name up. It's because these guys have done an elite job of building this place to where people are taking notice. Credit to our kids, credit to our staff, but I have not.
Is it possible Golesh leaves? Absolutely. Do I think he has one foot out the door? I do not. Golesh isn't a BS kind of guy. He's also not going to take another gig if the infrastructure isn't correct and a place to succeed. I'm confident USF is ready to offer him an extension, but the market will dictate what happens after the season is over.
I'll say this, whenever a coach name has been mentioned in any possible job, I never believe them when they say, oh, no, not me. We've heard that so many times, and what do?
There is a delicate dance.
But we'll see.
Yeah, there is a delicate dance for sure. As for FSU alum Cal Raleigh, he did not win the AL MVP award despite having the greatest offensive season we have ever seen from a catcher, and by a wide margin. The biggest argument for Judge was that he slugged and reached on base nearly 100 points more than Cal Raleigh. And I'll say this. Both of these guys were deserving of the award, and honestly, I would not have been mad if there was a co-MVP. Having said that, when we all look back on the 2025 season, which player is going to be talked about? Is it going to be Aaron Judge or Cal Raleigh? And it's going to be Cal Raleigh. Catchers simply do not do this. He beat the home run record for a catcher by 12. 12! Double digits! It's also an unquantifiable figure, the wear and tear on his body playing catcher. And again, Aaron Judge had a type of season that maybe only Barry Bonds can compete with in the past 25 years. But for me, what Cal Raleigh did this season was historic, and I believe he should have been rewarded.
Absolutely. If you go back and pull the tape on my thoughts on who should win the MVP when this thing wasn't decided, I said it then, and I'm saying it again with you. Cal Raleigh should have won the award. In fact, I said something along the lines back then of, there's a man who's not sleepless up in Seattle who carried the cover off of the ball, and you should put your money on him winning the MVP. I guess on that part I was wrong, but I think he should have won.
Yeah, not your fault, though. I think many are in our camp here. Look, in the heart of the game, the Buccaneers come back from a loss and score a big win. How the team is spending their off day to help out the community.
Plus, is Lane Kiffin staying at Ole Miss, or is he going to Florida or LSU? That I don't know, but up next in the Ultimate Rush, I'll explain why even reports that the Rebels gave him an ultimatum has me saying, "Cha, please."
Time now for the Ultimate Rush. This is where we dig into some more topics affecting the Sunshine State and beyond.
And the only catch is we have 60 seconds to make our point, and I'm starting with as Lane Kiffin turns. If you followed college football for more than 5 minutes, you know Lane Kiffin does not go anywhere quietly, and this week is no exception. The Ole Miss head coach, sitting at an impressive 10-1, is still once again at the center of the coaching carousel storm. Kiffin insists he's not been given any ultimatum by the Ole Miss administration, telling the Pat McAfee show there's absolutely not any pressure and that he's having a blast in Oxford. But behind the scenes, it sounds a little different. There are reports that the Rebels athletic director and the school's leadership want a clarity by this weekend so they can plan for the postseason or prepare for life after Lane. They're not calling it an ultimatum, but it sure feels like one in everything but name. Meanwhile, the personal side of the drama is only adding fuel. Kiffin's ex-wife and family reportedly visited both Gainesville and Baton Rouge, the homes of the very jobs he's rumored to be front runners for. Ole Miss, for its part, is making it clear they'll match whatever Florida LSU throw at him, according to reports. So, is Kiffin staying, going, or simply maximizing leverage the way only Lane Kiffin can? Whatever the answer, his decision can reshape the entire SEC landscape.
He gone. Moving to the NHL now. Typically around this time, you can start plucking out who a handful of playoff teams will be, and that's simply not the case this year. The difference between the top team in the Eastern Conference and the 12th team in the Eastern Conference as of this taping, 6 points. At the quarter mark of the season, 22% of the playing time in the third period has been tied or a one-goal margin. That's the highest rate in league's modern era history, dating back to 1943. 90 games have required overtime. Every team has a comeback win. 7 non-playoff teams from last year are inside the playoff bracket as of this taping. The NHL is a darn good product right now, which means the health of the sport is in a great place. And I say that knowing the Panthers and Lightning continue to dominate in the East. I don't know how the playoffs will all shake out, but usually some teams can park it into neutral after Thanksgiving. That will not be the case this season.
Time now for the heart of the game. This is where we go beyond the X's and O's, remind you why we fell in love with sports in the first place, and a fun story involving the Bucs and Habitat for Humanity, Evan.
And just to be out here with amongst the players, they're painting our home. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now painting our home.
I enjoy doing this. It's kind of therapeutic, day off, painting, little country music in the back. I can't complain. I feel like we grow as a team and then we grow as a community.
Being a homeowner for the first time is sinking in.
Allowing us to take the helmets off and just connect on a day-to-day basis and just connecting outside of football. It's pretty cool.
Officer, you graduated.
Just to have this opportunity right here with Habitat and with the Buccaneers and the Glacier Foundation helping us out, man, it's tremendous.
It's bigger than football, all of us here, and we just bonding and giving back to the community.
Finally a place for us to call our home.
It's just a blessing to be here.
It's worth mentioning members of the Tampa Bay roster donated money to help build those 2 Habitat homes in East Tampa. You saw one right there.
Good stuff.
Yeah, let's see how the Buccaneers do on Sunday Night Football, though, against the Rams. Plus, can the Jags keep their foot on the gas pedal on the road? We got our best bets in the Ultimate Stakes.
Hey, Dad. I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need you to be a superhero. I know you don't have it all figured out. Y eso está bien, porque eres mi papá. And that's enough. And scientific study shows when my dad is involved, great things happen. When test scores go up, I'm less anxious. I just become the best version of me.
Time now for the Ultimate Stakes. This is where we take a look at the odds via the Hard Rock Betting app. We give you our thoughts on teams or games. It all depends on the week, Evan.
Just a reminder, this is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm going to start us off with Sunday Night Football. I don't really have an opinion on the side, but I do have an opinion on the total. I think 49.5 points, too high. And I understand the recency bias. The Bucs defense keeps giving up explosive touchdowns. The offense can put up 20-plus points on most opponents. But I do not see the Buccaneers laying another egg defensively here. I see an inspired effort. I don't know if it's a winning effort, but it will be inspired. So give me the under. I also like Cade Otton a lot. Look at the last couple of games for the Rams. They gave up 21 receptions for nearly 170 yards and 2 touchdowns to the tight end position. Remember what Cade Otton did 2 weeks ago against the Patriots? I think he's going to look like that and possibly earn his first touchdown of the season, Chris.
All right, let's talk Jags. Cardinals. Jags fans are hoping to see back-to-back complete games by our Jacksonville Jaguars. The defense was good. Special teams on point. And the rushing attack was terrific a week ago against the Los Angeles Chargers. The team combined to rush for 192 yards and 4 touchdowns. This Jags offense goes as the running game goes. And while Travis Etienne and Bashal Tootin had the bulk of the yards, Etienne has been leading the Big Cats ground attack all season long. Now, the Hard Rock Betting Gap is taking the over on Etienne, 61.5 yards here. The Cardinals are ranked 16th in rushing defense. Listen, the last 2 weeks, Etienne has toted the rock very well. I'm taking the over on Etienne as well.
Yeah, we know how much Liam Cohen likes to lean on that rushing game, so if they get a lead, giddy up. As for the last word, there is a trend going around the NFL that I do not like. Plus, a quarterback finally gets his opportunity to prove people wrong. Chris and I have something to say. Stick with us.
Time now for our last word. This is where we clear the paint and sound off on any topic that's caught our attention, and Evan is leading us off.
Yeah, there is an issue going around the NFL, and we saw it in the very first game of the season, week 1. Stop spitting on another man. I don't think there is anything more disrespectful than spitting on another human. Jalen Ramsey got tossed because Jamar Chase spit on him, and you know what Mike Tomlin said after the contest? I have nothing to say to Jalen. You do what comes natural to you in the heat of the moment. Fortunately, Chase's spit was caught on camera, and now he's suspended a game. And Chris, I don't condone fighting at all. But if someone hawks a loogie on me, I do not know if I could be the bigger man in that moment, and I am just keeping it $150 on that.
And you need to keep it 1,000 because I can guarantee you, if you spit on me, we're swinging. Point blank, bottom line.
Exactly. It's like, come on now.
Yes, let's stay in the NFL. The Cleveland Browns will start Shedeur Sanders Sunday. Dillon Gabriel still in the concussion protocol, according to his head coach. Look, the Browns' handling of the Shedeur situation has been nothing short of organizational malpractice. The kid was one of the top quarterback prospects coming out of college earlier this year, somehow tumbles to the 5th round, and then the team that drafts him seems to do everything possible to make him fail. But despite all of that, Shedeur has handled the chaos like a pro. I hope he lights it up Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders, even if it ends up being an audition for someone who actually knows how to develop a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is about to become, listen to this, the 42nd starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns since 1999. And that number speaks louder than anything I can say. Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're drafted by the Browns, you already are working against forces against you. But, you know, here's my thing with Shedeur Sanders in that game last week. He was getting no reps with the 1s or the 2s. This week of practice will actually, Yeah, and this week of practice will be the first time since getting drafted, or maybe his days back in Colorado, where he'll actually feel like the starting quarterback. I don't know what the results are going to be like on Sunday, but the problem is all the noise around him, just every snap is under a microscope, and I don't care what side you are on with the Shedeur Sanders stuff. Like, let's take it easy, right? He still needs to develop a little bit, too, on top of all of this.
Listen, this guy's going to energize this team. He's going to get out there. He's going to do his thing, and I expect him to be nothing less than spectacular. We'll see you next week.